Good morning, FlossTube. This is Cathy, the hands-on designer. As promised, I'm coming back before Nashville Needlework Market just to kind of share, go through the lineup of what it is I'm going to be releasing at market. It's Saturday morning, which means we actually leave on Tuesday. We drive. We take 2 days to drive. It's a 13-hour drive, and let's put it this way. A couple years ago, we had to start splitting that up into 2 days. It's just too much, and you arrive exhausted. And quite frankly, we're already arriving exhausted to market. So we want to get there and be ready to set up and handle business and have some fun with our friends. So I did want to share with you, in my last video, I talked about how I was going to share with you what I'm releasing. So here we go. I've got a lot of information to share. I'll try not to speak too quickly, and I'll actually also try to breathe. A few last time commented, breathe, don't forget to breathe. And then I kind of watched the video back and I thought, oh yeah, I did kind of look like I was, it's been a busy month. So anyway, so I'm really pleased with what I have to offer at Nashville this year, and I hope you like it too. So for some of you who are saying, well, what's Nashville? What's Nashville? It is our the one time a year we actually have a wholesale market. I release designs throughout the whole year because I do a lot of series, or well, this is what I do for a living. So I release a lot throughout the year, and but it's our one time of year that we get together, and vendors, wholesalers, and shops, and we meet in Nashville. It's actually a suburb, Franklin, Tennessee. Supposedly, it's like, I've been told that's where the stars live. Haven't seen any. But we're in the hotel the whole time. So we set up, it's at an Embassy Suites. We take that front room, the kind of the living room, and we move all the furniture about, and we bring items for setup and display. And by the time I'm done, it looks like you're walking into a little shop, a little showroom. And I always joke, and because I've been coming to market for years now on both the shop owner side and the designer side. So I've seen kind of both angles. And I always used to joke that if the design, if it all happens, like the back room where we sleep at night when the show's closed for the day, it's just full of boxes and inventory and orders to be picked up, and we can barely walk around. And so if we do our job right and the shops do their job right, we can't walk around our back room at the beginning of show, and by the end of the show, they can't walk around their back room. So they've done so much buying. And let me tell you, the shop owners, it's always fun to visit with them. Plus, I have so many friends that are, well, not just shop owners, but other designers as well. So it's just a fun time. It's a lot of work. It's nice to actually get there. I love getting in the car on Tuesday and saying, okay, we're finally going to Nashville, because now I can finally stop getting ready to go to Nashville. That's like my favorite moment. But anyway, it's all worth it because I love sharing my designs with you. So let's talk a little bit about the hands-on design lineup for Nashville and on into 2020. So in my last video, I talked a little bit at the end about my new series that kicks off at Nashville, Secret Santa. So Holly St. Nick and the Santa Key, no chimney, no problem, are the first two in the 9 design series. Now, remember what I said. I'm just going to go over the quick facts on this. 9 Santas, 8 charts. The secret is that you're going to get a little bit of that Secret Santa with each of the 8 charts. So these will come out 2 at a time starting at Nashville, and about probably every maybe 5-6 weeks after that. So you have plenty of time to keep up and have some beautiful new ornaments for Christmas, for your tree or your mantle or wherever. So here's the facts of what kind of materials I used. This is Vintage Tiffany, Fabrics by Stephanie. It's a new color. Ask your shops to buy it for you there. It's not limited, so if she sells out at market, she always sells out at market. She'll make more. She'll die more. I've been talking to Stephanie probably every morning. We have a quick little, okay, how you doing? All right, all right. And I end the phone call by, okay, just keep dying. And I thought, you know, that sounds kind of funny. But anyway, the color palette is Weeks Dye Works, and a little bit of Santa Sparkle is Krynic. You, for the whole series, you only need one of the spools of Krynic. All right, so I think there's only 6 spools this time, so a few less than I used in Scary Apothecary. Of course, those really awesome beads from Just Another Button Company. Take a look on social media at their page and also my page, because I shared their post. They showed what this looks like when it starts. It's like 7 pounds of clay. Oh my gosh. I did post already the template for these. The link has been fixed, so whoever told me that the link was broken, thank you, and it's fixed. And then I've got some pictures on there that show you how I attach the beads as part of the finishing, and then probably aftermarket I'll do a little video tutorial just in case, you know, that is more helpful to you. So anyway, Secret Santa, and I'm gonna be really sneaky. See? They're all done. They're all ready to go. And we decided we are going to let the shop owners get a sneak peek of the Secret Santa. No photos, but they're going to get a little sneak peek of it. So hopefully they'll, if you're a shop owner and you're watching, come to the room, because we're going to let you look under the curtain. So, all right, so that's Secret Santa. My next release for market is called Well Rounded. And I just love the way it came out on the cover. Look at that. Look at all of them. I can't tilt it too far because they'll fall down. Don't they look like, somebody said they look like cookies. I'm like, yep, that's exactly kind of what I thought they looked like, cookies. So a little bit more, I'm gonna see how long, okay, I'm gonna go back to my waitress days and put it on my shoulder. So there's kind of the story behind this, and I jokingly have said the working title for this one is Flowers Cathy Can't Kill. Can you relate? Because there's flowers sort of in each season, and I'm better at gardening. I don't know. When I was little, I used to love to garden, and I could grow anything, and then I kind of went through a series of I pretty much had a brown thumb, and my green thumb is coming back though. So anyway, this is sort of my answer to a year of celebrations. I'm gonna put it down for a moment, and gotta get my waitress arms back. But so a year of celebrations, all 12 designs, actually there were 14, in one chart. So it was great. So I don't, it's been a hugely popular chart. I don't know if it's because they're all in one, or you really like the design or the colors, or a combination of everything. I've just loved seeing everybody's finishes. It's so cool. And just when I think I've seen them all, I start seeing more, and that's just really neat. So, but I did notice in the Stitch Along group on Facebook, a few have said, oh, I'm so sad. I'm done. Now what? So I thought, well, maybe it's time to give you something else that's seasonal, that's all 12 designs in one book, that you can start doing again, but look very different from what I did before. So it's not like I don't want to have you basically stitching something that looks exactly like what you stitched before. So what I did is, again, all 12, one book. And I always wanted to, okay, of course we do have spring bouquet, summer blooms, autumn fields, and winter wishes. So they do have a seasonal feel to them, with the color palette, with the saying, with the flowers. But what my idea was that I wanted to do this. So it's lots of different ideas came together in the creation of this. Years ago, I was teaching at the Country Cupboard. It's in Illinois, Orland Park, Illinois. It's closed now. I was teaching there. And, when I go teach, I always make a fun, special little kit. And this was early on. So I designed this one, but at the time it actually said springtime, and it was finished in a candle pan. Love the design. That's the only way it got released, was in this little kit. I think we made 50 kits, so very limited edition. But I always wanted to do something more with it. So then the next fall I did Galleria, and I did this. This was called Caroline's Lily. It is based on a quilt that is in our family, that is a hand appliqued Carolina lily. The quilt itself will probably go to my sister because she has a daughter named Caroline, but I just loved the quilt. So I took some pictures of it when I was visiting my mom's house. So it's loosely based on that. And at the time, I called the kit Caroline's Lily for my niece Caroline. And again, I always wanted to kind of expand on this design. So I was talking to Stephanie, Fabrics by Stephanie, and we were talking about this really cool concept for something at market. And I'm like, it's just like the light bulb went off and everything started coming. So we did 4 different color palettes, seasonal. So the linens that I used are hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie. It's vanilla latte, chocolate milk, Valerian steel, and then Spanish moss is a new color for her. And she's offering to shops. She cut fat 8ths, which is like the perfect size, and then we rolled them up. And she's offering them kind of like a jelly roll in quilting. So that's kind of her market special. And so you buy that and you've got all the linen for all 12 of these. And the largest one is 4 inches around, and then they kind of go down from there. All of that information is in the chart. So the more this idea like kind of snowballed, it was like, well, I know exactly how I'm going to finish them, but I want something really cool for the edge. So here's where we enter my friend Lois from Lady Creates. And I said, hey, I gave her some color palettes and she just nailed the trim on the edge. And then of course at the top, she hand dyed that. And then of course she did some fun little pins for me at the top. And then the kind of the thing I think that makes it all very sweet, and I gotta put it down for this, is when you display the season. Which should I display? Well, let's do spring, because hey, face it, we're hoping for spring right now. I made them different sizes. So I'll show you this way. Made them graduated sizes. The largest, of course, on 32 count is finished at 4 inches. And then, as I said, they go down from there. So you can kind of see how each one is a little bit smaller. My whole idea, my thought process behind this is we like to switch out the decor in our homes, but sometimes, face it, we don't have a lot of time. So even if you could just quickly switch out just a few sweet little things that kind of give you a lift for the next season, I just think that would be fun. And so if you had a little basket or a dough bowl or something like that, you could just kind of put these all like this. And with the graduated sizes, you would still be able to, I love layering in design. I love layering in decor. It's just kind of my aesthetic, I guess. And so I thought I would want to layer these, but if they were all the same size, they would like cover each other up. So your large one is going to be kind of a large quilt blocky motif. All right. And then your middle one is the one that has the words, and this is Spring Bouquet. I changed it from springtime to Spring Bouquet, only because time is being used in something later this year. Just remember that. So springtime. And then my last little one, I call this the sample, because I wanted it to look as if you picked this section out of a sampler. So depending on the way that you stitch, okay, on hand-dyed thread, and whether it's Stephanie's, Weeks, R&R, Picture This Plus, any of those, depending on whether you stitch with or against the selvage, some of your motifs may actually go off, like you can kind of see there, the edge of the round. That's on purpose, and that's okay. I wanted it to do that because, like I said, I just wanted it to look as if you just like grabbed a section of, like, say, a vintage sampler or something like that. Each one kind of has some quilty motifs, a little house, and some funny little birds in there. And of course, the colors of the season. The colors are DMC. You need 1 skein of each color for the whole thing. And there are 4 different color palettes, and I think about 6 colors in each palette. However, a few colors I used a couple times. You still only need 1 of those. I tried to be really nice on the threads, since I knew that, this could potentially be, I felt like the DMC would look better on the hand-dyed linen. It would just speak a little better on it. And then of course, you've got your hand-dyed twill from Lady Creates, and then You've got these gorgeous little pins just to make it super easy finishing. I am also offering finishing kits. I will not be doing templates or instructions on the website. It's not a difficult finish, but the finishing kits will, I'll hold up a new one here. The finishing kits will include directions, picture directions on how to finish these, plus enough laser cut mat board templates. So you're talking circles here for one season. Okay, so if you want to finish all of the seasons with the finishing kits, you do need to purchase 4. The templates, again, I said, are laser cut mat boards, so they are all the correct sizes that you need when stitched on, say, 16 or 32 count. Now, if you don't want to purchase 4 different finishing kits, buy one, get the instructions, and then you've got the laser cut discs as a template to cut your own. Okay. I decided to go this route this time. That's not normally what I do, but circles can be kind of hard to cut, and especially circles that match so that your edges come out nice and evenly. So that's how I finished mine. These are not hoops. A couple of people have said, well, where do I get the hoops? These are not hoops. It's laser cut mat board. So I got, if you saw some of my posts on Facebook and Instagram, I had just like stacks of discs, and the finishing kits are not a limited item. So if we sell out this first round, we will be making more. It's not something that I intend to only offer for a certain period of time. So anyway, so we've got Fabrics by Stephanie, DMC Floss, Trims and Pins by Lady Dot, Finishing Kits and Design by yours truly, Hands On Design. And I just think, I kind of said my little catch line for this one is, it's an easy as you please way to change out your seasons. Because I don't know, a lot of you are busy. I know there are times when, hey, I am heading into the 1st of May and my snowmen are still up in the house just because I don't have time. So I would just love to be able to go, boop, pull out the last season, put in the new season, and ta-da, you're done. And they're quick stitches, they're small. So work a season ahead. I do have somebody that is interested in starting a stitch along, so look for a Facebook group, Aftermarket on Facebook for a stitch along. So this is well-rounded perennial pinwheels, aka the flowers Cathy can't kill. Hopefully. Anyway, so there we go. All right, where am I going to put these? Okay, hold on. I'm going to bend down here real quick. Okay, all right, I'm back. So that's well-rounded. Sorry that took a little bit of an explanation. I'm so excited about it. I love the little designs. That's been in my head for, like I said, a couple years now. It's just so exciting to me when something finally gets out and it looks like that. And thank you to my 2 model stitchers. I'm not going to say them by name. I'm going to give them a little wink because I'm afraid they'll get poached. Okay. And they know that's why I've had that discussion. But their names are on the chart. So I thank them dearly. They did a bunch of model stitching for me this season, and they do a fantastic job. And I'm going to talk about all that later in the video. So anyway, let's move on to something else. Okay, my next one is called Stitch in the Garden. And this one, I've had so many people go, yay, because I actually taught this one. This is not it's a new release, but design-wise, I designed it in 2018. You'll see. I'm putting my pins in it so I can officially give you the official shot of it. This is the piece that I taught in the Netherlands when I went over there to teach at De Handwerk Boutique, and had just a lovely little trip and met some lovely stitchers. It was featured in a blog post a couple years ago. I said stitching the universal language, because we all spoke different languages, but yet stitching was what we had in common, so we got along just fine. But anyway, so Stitch in the Garden. It's just a sweet little, you know me, I love those little mattress pin cushions. All along the side, it's got buttons. And wouldn't you just love to have a garden that was full of stitching accessories like that? It does come with a little wool felt penny. The pin mini has been made for quite a few years now, but they're finally releasing it. They kind of waited since they knew I was using it, but it's got the little red tomato on it to go in the little red tomato. And then you put this inside the tray, which has this fun fabric. Now, I do list the fabric in, I believe I listed it in the chart. If not, I'll put it up on the website somewhere. It's an older fabric. It's a make-hour fabric, so I don't know if it's available. You're probably gonna have to maybe search a little bit. What's kind of fun about this one is, like a lot of my designs, these are Gentle Art sampler threads. I always do DMC substitutions, but if you have a little piece of fabric of something that you like, just pick. It's a pretty limited color palette. There's a green, a red, a gray, and 2 blues. Okay, so you really need like 5 shades, and pull that from your fabric and make your own version. And the inside is stitched. It's got a pretty little button wreath, and I put my initials in there. And of course it still says 2018 because that's the year I taught it, but you've got full alphabets and numbers in there to personalize it. And I give the finishing instruction for making your little tray. And this fits just perfectly in there. Have your little stitchers necessary. And then of course, what would be a little item like this without a little scissor fob? And again, I did one of those fun fobs where it's a big square, and then you fold it back on the corners back on itself, and you have a coordinating little fob. So how cute is that? I'm happy. It's probably one of the #1 requests for a teaching piece to be released as a chart. So a great little stitching gift. You could do parts of it that, say if you don't want to do this as a gift, but do the little tray as a gift for a friend, and then put a little pincushion on there, fabric pincushion in it, or something like that. But really fun. And you can see there's, I took the colors as an inspiration from this piece, just sweet little fabric with all kinds of stitching necessaries on it. So this is Stitch in the Garden, because the whole idea is, wouldn't you want your garden to include, so since I kill the flowers, I wouldn't kill this. Just thought of that. But anyway, I would love a garden of cross stitches and little strawberries and tomatoes and tassels and whatnot. So anyway, so there you go, Stitch in the Garden. Make sure you ask your shop to pick this up for you. Many shops are out there having posted pre-orders and things like that. Everybody's kind of going nuts with pre-orders this year. I'm bringing everything, so I really hope I don't sell out, but gosh. And nothing I have is limited, in that if I would for some reason sell out, shops will be able to get it and we will ship as soon as possible. We are very aware of kind of where things are and what I need to, if my printers are on standby, if I need to get them to get the presses running while I'm gone so I can pick things up when I'm back. It's all good. You will get your piece. Don't worry. Take a breath. I'll take a breath. If you're not sure where to order, I do have a list of shops that order directly from me. This is not extensive of who all carries my things. These are people that are on these are shops that are on some kind of an automatic program or order directly from me. I list them on my website just as kind of a fun consideration for ordering directly from me. So that was Stitch in the Garden. So we've got Secret Santa, well-rounded, Stitch in the Garden. Now we're ready for my needle and thread. So this was a club piece that I did 4 years ago with Lois, who at the time had Elegant Stitch. She was a needlework shop. She still kind of has that, but she is also now morphed into the ever so wonderful Lady Dot Creates, who's done a lot of the trims and pins and all those just luscious little things that you see on some of my other pieces. I love working with embellishments, and I'm so eternally thankful that I have such awesome friends in this industry that help support my designs when I call and say, hey, can you do this? And they go, absolutely. So if you want a funny story, This particular piece was the subject of my very first FlossTube a couple of years ago. I don't even know how long I've been doing this now. Not nearly as long as others, and I don't have the videos that other people do. But the saying is, my needle and thread, may they never part. It's the key to unlock my stitcher's heart. I wrote that. So there you go. But it just has these fun tassels and just all sorts of little stitching accessories. I apparently was on a kick of stitching accessories, but I just love the saying. Of course, I have a stitcher's heart. I sure do. And it's on top of this great box. All of the patterns are included. All of the sourcing for supplies are included. If you're too impatient to wait for the chart, this was ordered from Factory Direct Crafts online. It's a 7-inch hexagonal box. So there's your box. And then inside, you take this off. All right. I painted the inside. It's gotten a little worn. Okay. It's been sitting around for a couple years. I'm going to show you the inside of the box. It's got a little padded, this was a Moda print. You can use whatever you want. I just wanted something that was kind of neutral, low color, would kind of read solid from a distance, but have a little bit of interest to it. But where the real interest is on the side panel. This was taken from a 1920s Needlecraft magazine, and we played with the color a little bit, played with the shape and the side. And I'll tell you, when you buy the chart, and I'll show you everything else it includes too, when you buy the chart, you get all the supply list. I am also giving you a link to a private page on my website that has complete finishing instructions, pictures, instruction, everything. It also has a PDF that you can download and print of the lining, the drawer lining, and that got put in with Mod Podge. So fun with Mod Podge. Woohoo! You either love it or you hate it, or you're kind of indifferent. So I don't know, whatever. It was my first experience with Mod Podge. I'm kind of whatever, I think. But I love the way it looked in there. I love the colors. It just kind of, and even like the color paint that I used. You name it, it's all in there, okay? So, and the only thing I ask is, if you're gonna purchase the pattern, don't share the link to the finishing. You're paying for that, okay? I'm just gonna put it out there. So, anyway, so you're getting full instructions. Of course, in the chart itself, you're getting the chart and all the colors and all that and the normal stuff, but it's the finishing instructions that you're getting extra. So this includes the box top, this really awesome pin cushion. It's a little tomato. Okay, it's a square tomato. But I know, Lois and I talked, she's because she actually stitched the model. She was like, oh Lordy, that thing took a lot, that was a lot of red. So that's why I actually put a little dot of green in there just to mix it up. But the full finishing instruction again is in there, and I just love it. It's, with the little strawberry on it, a strawberry on your tomato, and then just some sweet little pins. I just love all the little details on this. So that goes in your hexagonal box. And we have a fob. Now, if you go back to the original video, oh my gosh, this was one of the funny stories. When I originally made this, I was ironing it. We were like, this was a 2-year project going back and forth. Yes, go back to that video. It was kind of humorous, but I was in the home stretch finishing this. Didn't love my finishing, and at the last minute, I was ironing it and melted the palms. I mean, seriously, who does that? I'm a finisher. I melted the palms, so I had to quickly re-stitch this, and then it turned out much better. I was happy. I kind of fixed what I didn't like about the first time round. So I think that was probably meant to be. So cute little cute little fob for your scissors. And then the other item that's in there is a little wax key holder. It's just a little pouch, and you could put scissors in there if you don't want the wax key. That's the key to my stitcher's heart. All right, so complete instructions in there to do this as well. These are Witchy Palms from Lois. And you'll notice like I use the same fabric. And if you don't use my fabric, use whatever fabric you like and kind of get enough to do it throughout. And then she made this wax key that goes inside the wax key keep. And I put of course I put a tassel on that too. Life needs tassels, don't you think? So funny story, this is actually not the original key. The original key that we used when this was a kit was, it's lost. She doesn't know where it is. And she says after 4 years, she's probably never going to find it. So I believe her. Anyway, so she found this. This is truly an antique key that she found, and she made a mold of it. And now she's made these. So you're getting more of an antique key. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is pretty. I ain't using this. So it's just fun to have. It's just a little necessary part of our stitching. We all have things that we have that we don't actually use, right? But it's just pretty and I love it. And so ask your shop to pick these up in Lois's room, the keys and the palms. Again, full finishing instructions in there. Here, so you'll open up your box, my needle and thread. May they never part. It's the key to unlock my stitcher's heart. I love my little basket with the strawberries hanging off the tomato. So you take this and you can keep your tomato, and you can keep your fob with your scissors in there. And then of course you can keep put your wax key in there, and it all just fits in there nice and tidy. And then you put your lid on it. And how cute is that? Also be on the lookout. Zappy Dots is making a number of needle nannies with my new releases. They did a set for Well Rounded, and they are doing for Secret Santa. But they did something really cool for my Stitcher's Heart. They're making one of those magnetic needle slides with a portion of it. It says my needle and thread. Really cool. I do hope to purchase a few, and what I do get, I'll put for sale actually online on my website. So anyway, there you go. What am I looking at for time? Ooh, 31 minutes. Yeah, we're okay. So that is my needle and thread, or my Stitcher's Heart. So let's see, what else? Okay. I do want to show this. This isn't actually going to be for sale in my room. We kind of tend to sort of get the same rooms from year to year. So if you're in my room, okay, there's Stephanie. Okay, let's back up even further. There's Janice from Noteworthy Needle, Stephanie, Fabrics by Stephanie. There's my room. There's Tracy Horner from Ink Circles, and then there's Beth from Summer House. So you've probably seen this piece before. This was a class that Tracy, Beth, and I did last year. It's called Needles Dance. We all designed this together. I would say you definitely would be able to pick out the parts that were more of an influence from each one of us, but this was such a treat. I love these gals. They are some of my best friends, and we have so much fun when we're together, and I'm looking forward to seeing them, because we usually Skype, but we haven't been able to do quite as regularly this year, probably because we're not doing a class together this year. We have to do a class every once in a while just so we can talk. But anyway, so this was a class that we taught last year to shops at market on exclusives. And so quite a few of you have bought it, but we did say it would be a year before it was released to all shops. So now this will be available to more than just the shops that were originally in the class, which there were I think maybe 29 shops or something like that. So if it's something that either you haven't seen before, it's going to be available now, or if you were waiting, I don't know why you would have waited. It's a pretty blue linen from Witched Imports, and it's Classic Colorworks. Yes, of course, there are DMC substitutions as always, and it's a fun chart. Shops can actually purchase the chart in Beth's room. Up till now, I've been doing all the distribution, but we're shifting the mantle of distribution to Beth now. So that's what I love about working with these ladies, is we all kind of step up and do our part, and it's just, I know I can count on them. They're great friends. So anyway, Needles Dance. Just a couple more. So this one I'm so excited about, and I want to introduce a new art, maybe new to you artist. Maybe you already follow her on Instagram. I don't know if she does Facebook or not. I can't remember, but I want to introduce you to Annie Quigley, or is her account? Okay, yep. And I have glass on this, so it's going to be kind of hard to see, but it says, "God shed his grace on thee." Annie Quigley lives in Pennsylvania, and you'll kind of get the whole story in the chart. But I had followed her. I'd been following her for a while. And last year on Memorial Day, I was having a discussion with my husband, and we were talking about a potential kind of set of designs, and in which I would interview people and ask about their favorite holidays. And so I asked Bill about his favorite holiday, and he said Memorial Day. Well, it happened to be Memorial Day. And as we were talking, I was kind of scrolling through my Instagram feed, looking at pretty pictures, and this came up. And it was through Annie Quigley. It's Annie Quigley Artist, or Artist Annie. I'll put a link below. But she has 2 young daughters. She's a self-taught artist. Her husband was actually in the military. I don't know if he is anymore. But this was inspired by her young daughters, saying they were looking for all the Americas. It's a sweet little story. And by the Americas, they meant flags. So this was actually, I guess, a scene she said they came across in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where they live. And something about it, I couldn't stop looking at it. I mean, I could not. I don't know. And I think what got me is, look at the flag, if you can see, the details on the flag, I think was what kind of, well, of course, the saying and just the whole sentiment itself. I love that, I love that the flags are hanging on a wash line, and you can stand on either side of the wash line and admire the flag. That's all I'm saying on that. I just think it was a neat piece, and I had one of those feelings that came over me. It was like, I need to stitch that. So, as I'm known to do on occasion, I reached out to her and we talked, and it took a while. And kind of when I explained to her, because she's not familiar with cross stitch, it's not her medium, obviously watercolor is, and oils. She's a beautiful artist. Please go check out her feed. She's got some neat things for sale. You can purchase a print of this. If you love it and you don't want to cross stitch it, you can actually purchase a print in her Etsy, it's not an Etsy shop, in her website. So yeah, go check her out. And like I said, I just knew I had to. Something spoke to me, and I needed to put this into cross stitch. So I called it Memorial Day, and this is the cross stitch version. I'm pretty pleased with how it came out. This is the part that I'm probably tickled about the most. That teeny little detail on each flag. And again, to be able to stand on either side of the wash line and see the flag waving in the breeze, I think is a pretty cool thing. So I'm super pleased. Now, I did use sulky threads on this. Yes, I did DMC substitutions as always, but the fun part about the sulky threads, you use 1 ply. This is on 32 count antique white. I discovered that I was using a very similar color palette to my friend Beth from Summer House Stitchworks. And she was using sulkies, and we're like, hey, this would be kind of fun. So here's the deal, sulky threads. If you buy the 1 pack, we're calling it I think it's the Patriotic Collective. If you buy the 1 pack, you have enough threads for both my design and her design, which is called Liberty Hill Farm. It's 2 drums, or you could just frame it and not do it as drums. But so we thought, so you get 2 different looks, 2 different uses out of the same color pack of threads. And it's pretty much a patriotic collection anyway. So surely you've got other things in there that, you can use those threads for. So I just loved all the tiny little details of making her watercolor come to life. So let me see, I don't know if I can do this. Let's see if I can without dropping something. So here's the piece of art. And here's the cross stitch version. We go back, there we go. I'm so thrilled that I had the opportunity to do this. So thank you, Annie. I hope I did your original artwork justice. And again, ask your shop to pick this up for you at market, and the sulky pack as well. I think you'll have fun doing that with these. And again, you know, DMC will be equally as beautiful. So there you go. That's kind of the last big piece that I did. I have one more little piece that I'm kind of holding back for shop owners. I like to give them a little bit of a surprise when I can. So I'm just going to show you the one corner. This is all I did on, let's see if all right. That's all you get. That's all I'm showing. It's called Humble Honey. It's a sweet little piece, kind of like when I did the Cool Yule ornament. I made it a really nice price because I'm hoping that it encourages shops to kit it. It just needs a little piece of, obviously I did Fabrics by Stephanie Slate. I think this design would be lovely on many different colors. It does not have to be on the chalky type of linen. And then of course I did Be Sweet Pin Mini from my friends at Just Another Button Company. And I did put, let's see, I gotta be careful again. I did put a little, you know me, I like my little embellishments. I put a little tag on the edge of my pillow. I had just a little bit left of the Hip Hop Twill from Lady Dot Creates that I used on the Hip Hop Chalk full piece, the one that I do with Priscilla. I had a little bit of that left, so I just used it to make a little tag. So anyway, by the time market starts, you'll start to see full views of that. I think honestly at that price you can't go wrong. It's just a fun little piece, and I like I said, I like to have a surprise for shop owners. So so there you go. So that's what I've got for Nashville. This is going to be we leave, like I said, Tuesday. I'm so excited to get in the car because I can stop getting ready for Nashville. I do want to take a moment and just give a shout out and a big thanks, because I say this every once in a while that I feel like it takes a village to get me to market. In this year, it really did. Deb, who works here, handles our bookkeeping and our and the day-to-day shipping, has just been killing it with getting things out and helping just kind of keep me on the right path as far as what needs to get to the printer and what needs to be proofed and what needs to be picked up, that kind of thing. I can't speak volumes enough about her. And my good friend Lorna, who recently retired, and then she may have regretted it, I don't know, but she said to me, you know, if you need help. And this year I learned that it was really okay to ask for help, and she was a huge help. And I will say we put charts together. We work at nights to put charts together, but she put a vast number of the charts together this year, just not even just saying anything. She just sat there all day long, so I could do other things. And again, also a big thanks to my friends, my stitchers, my model stitchers, just doing, you know, because I can't stitch everything. Somebody asked me online, do you stitch it all? And it's like, oh no, I'd love to, but I couldn't. I do stitch quite a few of them because I am at heart a stitcher, and I like my designs and I want to stitch them all. I just can't. And so I work with some pretty incredible people, hand dyers, button makers, they support me. So anyway, but it's been kind of an interesting month leading up. Usually I get to take a month, the couple months before market. I'm pretty solitary. I'm here in the studio like every day, and just kind of getting ready. You know, it's getting ready for market, getting ready for market, getting ready for market. And unfortunately, my February this year wasn't what I had planned. But you know, sometimes you know, life is what happens when you're making plans, I guess. So I had to be out of town, which is something I never do in February. Some of it was fun, some of it was work, and some of it, all of it, was for family. And family comes first, and sometimes you have to just put some of that aside. So I am so thankful for my friends. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to go there, but I'm so excited for market. I'm so excited to get there and to see my friends and to show you my lovelies. And I really hope you enjoy them as much as I do. I'm trying not to end on such a downer. Wow. But it's all good. Everything's good. I'm so excited. And that's, I think, where I'm going to end it for now. So, lots of new things, fun things coming out, obviously, at market. Lots more coming. We're already working ahead to the next projects. I teach class a few short weeks after I get back in Indiana. Hope y'all are getting your homework done. I've seen a few of you posting about it. And then the kits are out and pre-stitching has begun for the Midwest Cross Stitches Retreat. Get on your homework there, ladies. So as always, I am grateful to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So in the meantime, enjoy the stitch. Bye-bye.